What's up, bookworms? Welcome to episode 132 of the Cantina Book Club podcast, where we're just going to find interviews with authors of all genres. I'm Megan, the Cantina Queen, here to bring you insights from the authors themselves. Each week features a Cantina conversation from an author, sometimes a returning guest, and sometimes it's someone new. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button and so that you never miss out on an episode. And feel free to browse through existing episodes so that you can catch a previous interview about an author and book that you finished. Today's episode features a chat with Sally Kilpatrick. We're talking about her book Little Miss Petty. That book comes out on March 24th. I loved this book, Little Miss Petty. It lives up to the title, and it's quirky and it's funny, and it we find the main character definitely carrying out some petty grievances due to a situation that she finds herself trying to recover from. And yes, there's a romance, and he may or may not be a sexy golden retriever. Little do you know, just check it out. Some spoilers do pop up in these conversations, but the episode is more enjoyable if you've read the book anyway. So if you don't know why I am calling Malone a golden retriever, hit pause, add this episode to your playlist, pick up a copy of Little Miss Petty. This interview will be ready when you're done. Just a heads up that I often use adult language to express my feelings toward these authors and their work, whether the characters need to get their shit together or I am saying what the fuck to Sally for making me feel things. Just please be mindful of listening ears. Without further ado, get ready, grab your favorite drink. Here is Sally. So today we've got Sally Kilpatrick. We are talking about her book, Little Miss Petty, that's out on March 24th. Loved this book. I'm just maybe one of those people who just has maybe a little bit of schadenfreude, if that's the correct term, where it's just, you can't help it. But if it's done well enough, but I'm also a supporter of female rage. And my husband and I even have a joke about, oh, like, what are you, Tom? Because I was like, why are you being so petty, like Tom Petty?
That's great. That's
So
great.
I'm so excited to talk. I like just the messaging and like kind of the depth of the characters and the growth and kind of just the commentary on karma or trusting the universe, and also just like about women and female relationships.
Yeah.
I loved all of it, and it was so fun and entertaining. I'm excited to dig a little bit deeper today.
I'm excited to talk about it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, to get started real quick, can you share a summary? And we can follow, I'll follow your
Mhm.
want to be spoiler free or spoiler friendly. We could do either way. We'll just give a disclaimer out there.
Okay. And me being me, I attempt to be spoiler free and then
Yeah,
usually
so that's fine.
accidentally spoil something. That's my own book. But I'm going to do
We'll
my best. We're going to try not to.
yes. All right. Sounds good. Can you share a summary so that people can follow along with the conversation?
Sure. Okay. Stella Stark is a private investigator, and her husband, or not her husband, I'm sorry, it's her partner, is cheating on her, which means that she is now not only out of a home and a relationship, but out of a job. And in order to try to recoup some of those costs, she and her friends come up with a little business so that you can get petty revenge on people. You hire Stella, and she comes up with something that's a logical consequence for your bad behavior. And things get complicated when she tries to get revenge on her neighbor, and it's just not working because he's too nice.
Uh,
He's very
so and
hot,
just
and that starts a whole bannering relationship. So you got two
and
things
he
going
makes
on.
it clear that he's interested in her too. So that yes,
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
all yeah.
You got two things going on. You got your female camaraderie, and you got this relationship with the mysterious Malone.
I loved him. I was like, it was so funny because yeah, he's like dark and mysterious, but then as we get to know him, I'm like, aw.
I know, right?
He's just yeah. I love it. And I just love, I don't know, I think because it's like, of course, I can't help it if I become attracted to fictional characters and they make the
Who
book
among
boyfriend
us?
list. But I like, it's come on, and it's okay. And I even like tease, I asked my husband, like, do you like get upset or jealous if I like have a book boyfriend list? He said, it's like the silliest question ever. Like, why would I like he's like, he's no, honey, I'm not worried at all. But yeah, he was like one of those where it was like, just the situations in general. He was such a good sport, but he was also, like, being smart about everything he had to do or what was
Oh yeah.
on his plate and what he was up to, and it was really, like, as the readers slowly get to know him, it's we're rooting for both of them, and it's just actually oh, wait a second. I love, like, just your style of writing or how just the nature of the pettiness and and all that, it's like there were, like, levels, right? Like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
peel back this level, and then we're gonna get up here. Oh, we know this now, but then where does that go from here?" And it's, "Oh, surprise, Sally's got something for you."
That
I
was the
yeah.
goal, is to it's not a suspense thriller, but I want you to keep turning pages. I want you to find some new things, to discover new things about the characters every now and again.
It is all your characters too, like, Ken, I think within the first because that's one of the first things that happen is
It
that
is.
she encounters that situation, and I remember just because 'cause I'm taking notes and I'm like, "All men are trash, ugh." I was so like
I sometimes I get a little pushback because a character like Ken doesn't have much nuance, but I'm afraid sometimes some people in this world don't have a lot of nuance. I can't make every villain
Yeah,
sympathetic, and I'm not here to do some of the
especially for the nature of the genre, it's
yeah.
like where your lane is to an extent, right? You know that
Well,
you can only do so much. It's
there
not
there
yeah.
are people like that. Sadly, there are people like
Yeah.
that, and even with Malone, it's always funny because 'cause I'll write a character like that, and somebody will inevitably say, "Ugh, real men would never do that." And my husband did that last week. You need to get yourself a new man if that's
I know. It's like, maybe look yeah, like, because it took Stella a while to get it took both of them to
mm,
that point where he starts to really be more swoony and more understanding and more like just I wouldn't say some other stuff could be perceived, I don't wanna say toxic, but it was like either miscommunication or ghosting because they didn't like they knew that they kinda wanted to keep in communication, but they haven't reached that point yet where it was like, "Oh,
yeah.
how do I get a hold of you?" or "How do I know what's going on at this point?" Because we haven't exchanged numbers yet. I thought it was so like Malone had a little bit of a petty streak too to him, like, he was holding
A little
things
bit,
back. I thought it was so
a little
funny
bit.
for he was like 'cause there's ways to get each other's numbers even without
Oh,
asking.
that's the funniest
Yeah.
part of it is both of
Yeah.
them she works as a private detective, so she could just go on to some of her software and easily find his number, which she does eventually. And he works for a cybersecurity company. He could get her number too. So it's
Yeah.
almost like the principle of the thing. I
Yeah.
could get
I loved
this,
it.
but I want you to give it
She
to
was like exactly, she was like, "Oh," when she reached that realization, and he was just yeah, like, that was like bingo. I was like, "Oh my god, you sweet summer child," like, you want I guess that makes it a little relatable because I don't know, maybe that's stereotypical, like, women behavior of, like, being a little bit like, "No, I want you to want to do it."
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's so that's what kind of I think it made him a little bit endearing too because it's, oh, he's pushing those boundaries a little bit. Like, he's not a who said I didn't like Taylor Swift?
He is definitely very much, and my husband loves all of the pop ladies. This is very amusing to me. I
Yes.
mean, when I met him, huge Paula Abdul fan, currently going
Oh,
through
I
his
love that.
yeah, currently going through his Sabrina Carpenter phase. I'm like,
Oh my
my
yes.
son, who when I drove him to Delaware from Atlanta to Delaware, one of those trips when I was driving him to college, he put on Taylor Swift, and I kid you not, it was almost 6 straight hours. And I was like, son of mine, 6 hours? Six? It's we okay, listen, look. Love Tay Tay, but we're gonna need something else in this car.
That's a lot. It's a lot. I remember going on a road trip with my husband and our his childhood friends who I've known just as long. I met them, like, maybe 2 weeks after
Mm.
we started dating, so I've known him almost just as long as them. And when we traveled to visit his my brother-in-law in Tennessee, they like EDM, and that is, like, one of my like, EDM, I think and I could listen to 6 hours of EDM over country music, for example. I don't think I could do 6 hours of country, it's just not my jam. But EDM are the it's there's a time and a place, I feel like, but
The club?
it's fun yeah, exactly. And so I was like it was a running joke. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna play Megan's favorite soundtrack because they know I'm not crazy about it, but I'm like, "If I'm overruled, it's okay. If this is all y'all's jam for the next however many road trip hours, and I can put my headphones in, I'll read my book, I'll watch my show." I think I watched some episodes of The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu, like, just volume up. So that no, that's fine. I'll catch up on my shows. I'm chilling here. We're all fine. You guys enjoy your little like dance rave party. And but it's hilarious because when they come over and they play it as like background noise if we're like getting together playing games and my kids will get into it too. They're 5 and 8. And so they'll like
Yeah.
kind of jam out to it. They get with it too. So I'm like, fine. Like fine, it's just me, fine. But no, that's what that kind of reminds me of. It's like this the you're like, bro, like to your son, you're like, dude,
I did, I was
can we not?
sir.
You put like, okay, I think about 2.5 hours is all I can take. That has to be enough.
I
Has
like
to
for
be
my
enough.
playlist to be very eclectic, which you
Yeah,
may have even caught with the various song references in this. There's Frank Sinatra and then there's Outkast. So that's more,
yeah.
I want to explore a range of music when driving.
Mhm. I know I always tell people, I'm like, I have 7 different playlists on who I'm with and what I'm doing. I have a workout playlist. I have a work/chill playlist where I could just get in the zone and just relax, or even if I'm like, I'm literally working and I don't silence makes me a little uncomfortable. It's, like, louder than music to me, so I'll put on just, like, a little background noise, or there's one where I'm, there's an automatic like playlist, so anytime I hit
Okay. Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah. The
adds
favorites,
where
basically.
yeah, which is there's no rhyme or reason, it's
None.
just, "Oh, this is" it's like there was you'd
None.
go to these songs that I've heard, either it could be, like, Whitney Houston, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that song, I'm gonna hit so I can reference it later."
And then
But
it
then,
comes
like
back.
is right. But then, like, later, you'll get some songs of, "Let's get down to business," like, it'll
To
start playing them a lot.
defeat the Huns.
Yes,
Yes, the other day mine went from it was Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters
yes.
to it was a Daddy Yankee song
Oh, yeah.
to the Jesus What a Wonderful Child from Mariah Carey to a Miranda
Yeah,
Lambert country song to it was all over the place. It
I
was
love
just
that. I love that because it really is when people say, "Well, what's your favorite type of music?" or "What's your favorite book?" or "What's your favorite movie?" I'm like,
D, all of the
I can
above.
never ask yeah, I can never answer that because there's a movie that I think I will never mind watching it, like, I will leave it on, same as but, like, music, it could be so personal, and it could be so, like, same with books, some people are just mood readers.
Mhm.
Like, I was on this kick for a while, and then I was obsessed with this author for a while,
And
and it's so when I do stuff like this, it's okay, it gives me a good way to, like, scratch all my itches because I do like
yeah.
reading different types of genres. But, yeah, exactly, it's like, for people I get it if you're like, "I can't get into this."
Reading's the only
Yeah.
place where you're gonna find me polyamorous. I'm reading at any given time 5 books, and they're each of them are different.
I doubt do you also do audiobook and physical
I
and
do
Kindle
yes, I
and
have we've been known in this house. It's like you don't go anywhere without a book. So I'm almost always got a hardcover book. I've got one that I own, one from the library. I've got an audiobook going. I've got 5 different ones that I'm reading on my Kindle, and then I have one on my phone for just in case.
yeah,
Like
same.
I'm not gonna be stuck in line at the pharmacy and not have something to read.
Oh,
I don't need to
I
know about
will
the ingredients of NyQuil, but I would find out if my phone
no.
battery was dead because I'm
Yep,
gonna be reading.
I'm right no, I exactly, it's just when people I remember if I'm meeting a friend out and I'm early or they're running late, I'm like, take your time, get here safe, I've got my book. Like, I'm
I've
serious,
got a
like,
book.
I'll get a drink at the bar, I'll wait for you for dinner or whatever, or if somebody else yeah, if it's just anything, exactly, I'm right there with you, same mentality because even if I'll go get like I'll have a nail appointment, and sometimes I just
Mhm.
prop up my phone, and I'm usually the one I don't mind, like, I'll talk to people, we get haircut, or just doing services like that where
Yeah.
you have to maybe talk to the person, but I'm also like, I'm fine if you're fine without me like, we don't have to talk.
Yeah, that's it, and at this
And
point, I think I'm gonna see if I can put in my Lyft settings, "No thank you to the talkative folk." I don't No, I would rather
And that's
read.
yeah, yeah, it depends too. It depends. If I've had a couple drinks, then I feel more talkative,
No,
but
no,
then,
that's
like,
true. That's just it's
you
a
know
valid point you make there. That's
yeah, so it depends, I guess. Either have 2 profiles, like, where's 9 to 5 Sally versus 5 to 9 Sally, I don't know.
exactly, exactly.
You know what I mean? It depends, but yeah, it's just you gotta have, like, how often can you change it, stuff like that. But no, it's valid because it's yeah, when you're with people, it's actually I wanna read the next chapter. That's what I wanna do right now, but I know that I have to be in this car or I have to go run these errands
Especially
and
this month. My gosh, could y'all chill with the books? Because March seems to be stacked. And I had to
Mm,
stop and reread my book for the fifth time to look for pull quotes and stuff to use and stuff. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't want to read my own book right now. I've already read that. In fact, I wrote it. But there are so many other books over here that I want to be reading.
yeah. I know. No, absolutely. 'Cause that's what I think about with when I talk to so many of you. It's like there's so much that goes, like, underneath the surface, like, in a handful of cooks in the kitchen,
hmm
and I'm like, "Man," I was like, "I know this is, like, your baby, but yes, I understand if at some point you're like, I don't wanna read another word of this." You're like
Generally,
it's like
generally it just goes like in cycles. And we've come back around to oh, I actually like this. So that's good. It's always bad if you don't
right?
come back around to, oh, I actually like this. Because there's
Yeah.
always a point where you're wanting to throw your laptop against the wall, somewhere in the middle
No,
of the
I yeah.
process.
Exactly, you're just, "Oh, when are we gonna get to that point?" Like, it is necessary, and it takes the time that it takes, but and it could be it's just you have to there's stages, like, with those, like, okay, you got and then because this isn't your first rodeo, I'm just, like, looking at your uh, what you got under your belt here, and you have a handful. I see you got Ellery and Ellery
I
series,
do.
Nobody's Perfect.
Mm.
I love the covers of all of these. So I wanna explore, like, with Little Miss Petty, did you was this experience did you approach it the same? Were there any big lessons learned? Anything
That's a good
that stood out
question.
to you that was different than your previous published works?
I will say that everything I write starts with a question of some kind. And in this case, I had jokingly said to my husband, karma does not work fast enough for me.
Amen.
Right.
I think
Right. So and from there it springboard into, okay, what if there was somebody you could hire to just kind of take care of these things for you?
in a very creative
In a
way.
very and in a
Like
very logical, very poetic justice sort of way. Like, we're not wanting to be mean for the sake of being mean. We're
mm-mm,
not here to permanently harm any person or their property or anything
mm-mm.
like that. Just a little logical consequences, as my mother would say, something to make you think a
Something
little
that will
bit.
ruin your day,
Yeah, make
and
you
for
maybe
the
think about your
yeah.
behavior, some self-reflection on your part, really, when you look out at a yard full of pink flamingos.
Yeah, that's what
Just
that's exactly what came to mind. I was like, "Yeah, that is confusing and frustrating, and you don't know where to start," but it's like, "That's
yeah.
what you get."
And if I'm thinking, what did I learn from this one? Okay, the other thing is I always do research, which
Mm,
astonishes, I think, even some of my fellow writers because they're like, you're making this up. Yeah, I'm making this up, but I want it to be true. And not only that, but I find the research to be a very rewarding, it's fun. I'm a lifelong learner.
yeah.
I yearn for knowledge.
How
Um,
do you even research for what was, like, your Google search history? People are worried about you, like,
Lord, it's I'm surprised that the FBI hadn't shown up yet because I wrote a mystery before this one. So you want to talk about things that
Oh.
I Googled when you're writing a mystery.
Oh, yeah.
That's also when you have things like the poisoner's handbook out and your husband's, is there something I should know?
He's
But
like he had to have known that he took a leap knowing that you are creative
oh,
and you
absolutely.
create art
He
and,
was
like
joking with me. But for this one, the first thing I always start with Google and books and movies and things like this. But then I look for a person. So I'm looking for a private investigator and I found a woman because obviously I wanted somebody who could speak to me about what it's like to be a woman private investigator. And
Mm,
she gave an interview with me and then she was kind enough to read the first Ugly Baby draft and tell me what I got wrong or what could be finessed or where some problems could be and things like that. So
Yeah.
I went through and revised it. I also, with the help of another author friend, interviewed a forensic accountant for Malone's part. And I read several different books about hackers and cybersecurity because earlier in the process, I thought that I wanted to have Stella be a hacker.
Mm.
And as you write,
She could
things,
that would have been a
yeah,
pettiness very dangerous.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I went with the private investigator route and I shifted Malone over to cybersecurity, specifically forensic accounting. And that one was a lot of fun because when I interviewed him, one of the questions I always ask is what are the books and movies that get it right and what are the ones that get it wrong? Because you don't want to get it wrong. If you get it
Yeah.
right, it adds detail and
You could see
texture to the
examples of both.
and he mentioned The Accountant, the movie with Ben Affleck, which I had just happened to have seen. And he's actually, that's pretty close to what I do without the guns and the writing on the wall. But I kept the writing on the wall
Okay.
anyway
'Cause
for
that
funsies.
was whoa.
Yeah. But have you seen The Accountant where he does that?
Yes,
Yeah.
and then yeah, it's I don't know, spoiler alert, but then it fucks up his whole process when he cannot finish it.
Mhm.
And yeah, my heart broke for Malone when a certain situation happened, and it was just like, he's like, "It's okay, I got backups for my backups."
Because
Yeah.
if ever I have written a character who is the poster child for competence porn, it's Malone. Everything he
Uh,
does, he attacks from a place of confidence and knowledge,
mhm.
which is one of the things that I really
All
like
very
about him.
sexy, all very
Mhm.
sexy.
Confidence is
Plus
super sexy these days.
It's plus emotional regulation, also very
Oh,
sexy.
yeah.
It was so funny though, one of my favorite scenes was when they're starting to become intimate and
Uh-huh.
then all of a sudden Ken shows up
Oh gosh,
and
yes.
without even thinking, he's, "Okay, hold give me 1 second." And Stella's, "Oh shit, oh no." Like, she knows exactly what's gonna happen, and I love just the way that you wrote that scene where it's like, all this happened at once. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and then he's carried on as if nothing happened. I'm like, "That is fucking hilarious," and I think that's, like, what kinda tipped Malone over 'cause he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm a man of my word. Told you what I was gonna do." Like, but it was also, like, he was not apologetic about it. He's like,
No.
"No, like, honestly, he deserved that," and he that did not stop Ken from being Ken in the moment, and it was just, like I loved it 'cause it was like, here you have this man who's, like, essentially kinda like golden retriever
Yeah.
slash I don't know. I would say almost like bordering on German Shepherd or the Malinois breed that maybe he's, like, on top of his shit. He's got a little bit of authority
Mhm.
or, like, following the rules and following policies and trying to figure things out in that investigative way, obviously, but that he's also still just, like, a happy dude, and he's, like, very mature and emotionally mature, and he is like you said, like, he's smart and he's aware, he's sure of himself, and he's just and I think that's just what makes their interactions about their situation of, "Okay, now I'm gonna go back to California." She's, "Okay, so what are we doing here?" 'Cause it's hard. Stuff
Mhm.
like that is hard. Like, this would be we would be able to let this flourish naturally if there wasn't this, big old wrench in the
And
of
all of
yeah.
Stella's baggage, of which there is
Oh
much.
god, we're gonna get into all of it, but it like, because we under because you feed us little
Mhm.
crumbs of, okay, there's some shit that went down in her childhood, why she's grown up the way she has. I was cackling at the first what is it, the prologue when she's 6 years old or something. I
Yes.
was cackling. I was like, "Okay, this book is gonna be exactly as I think the title it delivers on the
Oh,
title."
good,
Like,
because that's always your
yeah,
goal. You don't
yeah,
wanna sell somebody. It's like when folks say, "Oh, this is a romance," and then it doesn't end well, and you're just viscerally angry, so you always want your title to give people an idea
yeah,
of the tone, the premise, and everything, and the title was the first thing that came to me, and the puzzle piece wasn't
yeah.
too far behind.
Yeah, because it was. I love it because it really does set the tone, and then it's, "Oh my god, this little girl, like a little baby Stella," and she's just but it was just also good for you because as a six-year-old, I would never have maybe that would never have crossed my mind, but also, I probably just with my natural, like, like, following authority or just succumbing to whatever and just, like, swallowing it, like eating shit. when it comes to grown-ups, like, parents,
Oh,
you're grown-ups at home, you gotta eat shit
I would have never
sometimes.
done
Yeah.
what baby
No,
Stella did. I'm
and the
yeah.
fact that she just rolled with it and oh god, the fact that she's, "No, I'm gonna hit her where it hurts," and it's just the smallest thing. It really
It's
is
her
the
strong
smallest
sense
thing.
of justice, and I think it's what you were saying about the schadenfreude. That's if we have a strong sense of justice, then there we do get that little hit of dopamine when something happens to somebody that kinda calls them on the carpet. And
Yes.
this book is small things for the most part, really, in the scheme of life. But I think I wrote it from a place seeking a catharsis for a larger comeuppance for things that
Yeah.
happen in the world. You get to the point where you're just enraged, or I am totally enraged by the fact that so many people get away with things that they ought not get away with. Just
Oh,
enraged.
yeah.
But you can't, that's not good for me. It's not good for my blood pressure.
Yeah. It's
Doesn't
almost like,
help.
"Okay, how do I be the bigger person?
Yes.
How do I be the bigger person and really just is this worth it to me? Is this worth it to me?" And that's where the little Miss Petty Business comes in because there's people who are like, "It is, but I don't know if I have the time and energy to do it."
Or I
Or if
don't want to
it's
get
like
caught.
yeah, and then here's Stella, she's, "Well, yeah, I'll this is fun." And
She's
she's fulfilling, like, a sense like, yeah, her sense of
it
justice
comes
as you
naturally to
put it.
her.
Yeah, she's fulfilling that she's filling that cup, and then she's making money off of it, and then she's also just also it's an outlet for her of just yeah, she's got the shit end of the stick of in a handful of ways, and I just want I own this car, I want this fucking car on paper, and because Ken
Yeah.
is and it's understandable, there are so many people who find themselves in
Oh,
that situation where they're
right?
just like, "No, I made payments, I have been responsible, and I'm, like, doing this, but
I
because of
well,
fucking credit, like, it's"
yeah,
yeah.
and the book before this, Nobody's Perfect, was me working my way through a lot of the emotions that I had because I hit my mid 40s right as I was writing that, and couples around me started divorcing left and right.
Mm,
And what you'll notice with Little Miss Petty is that I think the continuing theme, the thing that I suppose I'm still working through, is this idea of who has power, who comes out ahead in these situations. And what I tried to do with this book was to always punch up. And that means that there's a lot
mm,
of guys that do not come out well in this book because, as Havisham
yeah,
says, the patriarchy is a hell of a drug and a lot of men are getting high on their own stash.
exactly.
But we counter that with Malone. So Malone is there as, and I think that's part of the reason why Stella is like trying to keep from falling for him because she doesn't, this guy's got to be too good to be true.
Exactly. And even though she has all the resources available to her to see just like too good to be true, he and then but then it's like but I think that's so funny because they both like we said before, they both obviously have the tools to find out whatever each
Hmm.
other, but they're tiptoeing the old-fashioned way. And I think if it weren't for the situation, the first kind of mistaken facts that she may or may not have
Yeah,
had,
yeah.
I think that could have turned out very differently if that wasn't like she wasn't trying to keep her distance because she's wait a sec. And then but she's something's not adding up. Like he's not acting like how I'm expecting him to act. Like he's
Yeah.
smiling right now. Like
And
and he's not,
he's
you
not
know.
afraid of manual labor. He's not only is he eating this disgusting casserole with a smile on his face, but he's being so polite about it. You know what? How about a little hot sauce? Just to make this more
Yeah.
palatable. He cares what the 13-year-old neighbor upstairs thinks about him.
Yes. Oh, that was so fucking sweet and hilarious because she was like I could just picture it about that situation where she's there and
She's
she's
like, "Look what you made me do." It's like,
yeah.
is that not a 13-year-old if you've ever seen one? And of course,
Stella's, like,
Stella.
looking at it, she's, "Come on, that's pretty
Yeah,
good." She
Stella's I am not, I'm gonna have to abdicate. I am not the true Little Miss Petty in this situation. I do not
right?
rule this building.
I
But
love that so
revenge by
it was, like
ladybugs, that is a thing. And I don't think that's a that's not a
was
big
that did
spoiler,
that come
but
up, like okay, so, like, how did you come up with some of these ideas? Was
all
that part
right.
of your research where you're like what's the most pettiest thing? Or what did you
I
read, like a
did.
Reddit
I mean,
thread
I
or
did.
something?
Oh, I read it all. Not only did I
Oh my
read Reddit, I
God.
went through BuzzFeed, I went through
Or things that stood out to
all of
you
these
that you
things
didn't
that
necessarily
I didn't
include in the
do.
book. Yeah.
One of my favorites that I couldn't figure out how to incorporate was one lady, she took her toddler to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician was running late, and the toddler pointed up and said, "That is a clock." I was like, I can see one of my children doing this.
He said that
Yeah, he
to
said that the
her? Oh
pediatrician,
my God,
because the pediatrician was
that's
running late.
amazing.
I was like, I love that kid. I may have raised that
That's one of
kid.
the mouths.
Indeed. I'm trying to think
That's
what
almost
I
like a little guilty
didn't.
pleasure where you can, like, rely on the children to say what you want,
Oh, yeah.
what you can't say.
I don't anything that was mean or that caused like a ton of property damage, I wouldn't have used. I know that there were some
Mm,
stories where people would call and they found out that their boyfriend was cheating on them and they somehow managed to get him fired or something like that. I'm not going to do
that's
that.
kinda yeah. It's yeah, affect it's that's not no, I know I understand, you have to
I
draw the
didn't
line
want to go quite
somewhere.
as far as Angela Bassett burning everything in a car, a la Waiting to Exhale. And for one thing, because I could never do it as well. So we're just going to let that
You gotta
stand
let her you
as
gotta
its
let Miss
own.
Bassett hold that,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's Terry McMillan, and let them do their thing. They did it so much better than I would have. I'm trying to think. But the other thing I did, so my youngest child is 19, and this book is actually dedicated to them
Aw.
because if I'm the one that says karma doesn't work fast enough for me, they will come into the room and say, I am not as mean as I could be, and I need more people to appreciate that. Exactly. So I asked them, what are some ways to get revenge on people? And we didn't
Let me
use,
just pick your
yeah,
brain,
exactly.
yeah.
I didn't use all of them. One of them was putting random pieces of cheese around, which would be hilarious, but I couldn't think of a good reason, like why you would throw slices of cheese on surfaces in somebody's house.
It's like taking the batteries out of all the
That
remotes,
was one
like,
I read about. I didn't get to that one.
yeah,
I did love, and
yeah.
I just briefly mentioned this in the book, but the one where the woman mailed to her boyfriend a compass because he needed to find himself. I mentioned that one, but I just
You did.
mentioned it in passing. But that one cracked me up. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can find all sorts of great things on BuzzFeed and on Reddit, many of which are in the spirit of my book, and many of which kind of go beyond that.
I love yeah, because I just remember I think that was half of the fun, and I could tell you had fun writing those things and including those things because I love asking authors about research because that is the one thing where they light up, but then they're like, 4 hours in 2 sentences. Like, in
Oh,
my book, and
absolutely.
I love it because it's like your nerd comes out, right?
Oh,
Like, you just,
yes.
like, love finding out you can find out a rabbit hole, but then you're like, "Oh, shit, it's 6 o'clock. I've been at this for" and the page has stopped at that period that I have added
The
to.
things that I
Yeah.
research and then it ends up being 2 sentences.
I Yes, I know, it's so funny, I feel like so many authors, it's, "No, just keep that info on the back burner and use it for something else."
Abs
'Cause then I feel like for, like, authors when they're writing and they whatever stage they're at, you all could be, like, considered specialists for a couple months at a
Oh,
time.
yeah. It's all making sense to me now with the whole ADHD thing when I got that diagnosis because that's an ADHD thing. Like, I should be doing the dishes, but I'm sorry, I fell down a rabbit hole about the mating habits of badgers. Anything you want to know
Yeah.
about the mating habits of badgers? Whatever it
You're like, "I
is.
cannot be held liable for what catches my brain."
No.
Like, yeah. No,
And
I resonate that because I got late diagnosed. I think because I've been going to therapy for on and off for 20 years,
mhm.
but my therapist that I have now, I've been seeing her for, like, almost 5 years, I wanna say, and she's, "I think you have undiagnosed ADHD." She's, "Just from what I know about you, from our conversations and from what you're telling me, and your habits and your not just habits personal, but also habits in work,
Yeah.
like, habits It's just like how you function when you're given a goal or when you don't have a goal. What like, how do you find yourself like? Because I straight up if I do a lot all the time, and it really bothers me if I'm not doing something, or unless I'm
Yes.
like, I don't know, I'm able to shut my brain off, or, like, I'm in a different mood if, like, I'm doing certain things, but that's, like, where I'm like, if I'm just relaxing on the couch, I think that's one of the things where they're like, "Do you have" one of the symptoms is, "Do you have trouble relaxing?" And I'm like, "What do you mean
Yes.
by
What is
relaxing?"
relaxing? What is that?
I'm like,
I'm
"Relaxing is,
sorry. I'm
like,
supposed to be
I
doing
read a book.
3 things
Is
at
that"
once. Does that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, and so that's no, I totally sympathize, I relate to that, and I think a lot of readers will relate to that too, because it is, oh, now that you can pinpoint it, you can identify it and explain it, then it makes it easier, and so many things make sense,
Oh,
and then you're like,
absolutely. And all my
"Oh, how can this is how I can,
exactly.
handle it."
All my life, I had been able to fall into hyperfocus, especially when writing, whether essays for school or writing fiction for myself. And I had thought that ADHD just meant that you had trouble paying attention. I did not know that it was a trouble regulating your attention. But when my youngest child was diagnosed, I'm like, I'm going to be a good mother. I'm going to read about this. And then I started reading the book and I was like, oh no. And so then I read it to my mother and my mother said, oh no. So
No.
we got at least 3 generations going here.
Oh, no. Oh, but I love that you felt comfortable and you were able to be like, "Mom."
Yeah.
Because I think 'cause I got my 8-year-old, he's in 3rd grade, and I think that we're noticing some of that stuff too. It's just like, we're just running into, like, where he just doesn't like school, and we're like, "It's understandable, honey," but and they're both boys,
Mhm.
Wild West here. I'm like, I lose it so much, or it's just like, I don't know. It's okay, is this a guy, is this a boy thing, a personality thing, or just a child thing? 'Cause I'm like, "Is anybody else's house like this where it's just I'm constantly telling them I sound like a broken record machine?" But it is just 'cause I'm seeing like, okay, because it's like, again, hereditary, and so I'm seeing like, because he's advanced in math, he's in a special math class with a handful of students in his
Okay.
grade, and which makes sense because my husband's an engineer, and I was always smart in math, I just didn't it didn't interest me. I got bored with it,
I'm
so
not good with math. And but I realize now that
but you might have found things that maybe you were really good,
I
but,
say I'm
like,
not good
it
at
just
math.
didn't
I made A's,
you're
but I
probably
didn't like
yeah.
it. I didn't
So you were probably, like, really good at math, but you just didn't care,
we
like,
it
I
lit
don't
I get the numbers reversed, which can go along with ADHD too.
Oh, yeah,
I
but it
would
makes
make
yeah.
mistakes. I would make the easy mistakes. So I'd figure out the equation and
Oh,
then
because
mess
you
up the
kinda just,
addition
like, wanted
and
to get you wanna
subtraction.
be done.
I don't like
Oh,
it. Let me do an essay question. I will BS my way to an answer. I don't
I love
no.
that. That's hilarious because it is, like, one size does not fit all. It's like just me being a parent, I'm, like, trying to organize that
Well,
too. Both me and my husband are like, "We're not expecting you to be perfect, but you have to put something down on the paper. You have School is your job right now, and and it's okay if you don't like school, it's normal, but you have to do it. It's important because if you don't care about school, if you don't do well in school, unfortunately, that's gonna decide a lot of
yeah.
other things,
And
and it's hard to reiterate that.
from me to you, I would just not watch out, keep an eye on him because what happened with Lorelai, they were struggling with reading at the time, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. They had trouble with sight words, but they could figure out the bigger words, like a puzzle,
Mm,
right? So about the time we get them on track with the reading, then they're having
yeah.
trouble with math, whereas in the past they'd been very good at math. And what happened is that they came across those multiplication tables. And when they explained to me that with the ADHD, the problem is having things go from short term to long term, it's very difficult.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
oh, I remember this myself. The amount of work that it took me to memorize my times tables, and that even today, sometimes I'll have to go backwards because I'll forget one. And I'll have to go back to one, generally 5 times. If I can go to 5 times and then work my way forward or backwards, that's ridiculous. But it's true,
Oh
like,
my
for some
gosh.
reason, they didn't lodge in there. I can tell you that the prologue to the Canterbury Tales starts with "One that April with a sure assault." I can tell you that, but I may or may not be able to remember what 8 times 9 is. It's
You're
very
like, "What
bizarre.
is the Pythagorean theorem? I know that sounds familiar." Like
A squared plus b squared equals c squared. That one I remember.
Yeah,
I cannot do
I
the
know, right?
quadratic equation though. My bestie from middle school, high school, elementary school, she can still do the quadratic equation. I'm like, well, congratulations.
That See, for me, that sounds
Or quadratic
familiar, so
formula.
I could probably if I brought I could probably ask my husband and he would be like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" It's like, "It's this. How did you not remember that?" But then it's again, like you said, your kids are like your youngest is 19, so you still it's like you're still a parent like to a child, but like you've been through all of that mostly. But that's how I'm feeling. I'm like with a 3rd grader. And also he's like the youngest in his grade. He's like on the
Mm,
off the
yeah.
day, like late summer birthday. So I feel like he's in class maturity-wise with people who are, like, at that age, 6 months older. They're already 9 years old, and he's not gonna be 9 till August. It's I feel like that has a big part to play, but he's been making huge strides because we've been like, "Oh god, crap. Okay, we gotta get on him. We gotta get on him because otherwise in class he gets distracted easily, and he doesn't if he stops trying, you can tell at the exact point looking over his work when he stops trying, he's, "No, I just wanna be done." He just didn't even because otherwise it's, "Oh, perfect," and then you could tell he just guessed
He's
or
like,
the
"And I'm
answer.
done now." Yes.
Yeah, and it's like and even we recently talked to his teachers, and they're like, "He's made such an improvement after" because we had a chat because I told we tried to tell him, like, "Hey, we've never had a 3rd grader before. This is new for us too."
Right?
We're trying to tell him, like, it's like, you're not in trouble. Like, I just don't wanna have this conversation again." Like,
You
you have
know,
to
that is like 80% of parenting right there is, "I just don't wanna have this conversation again."
like, why are you not following through? Why are you not listening? I know you understand English. I know you know what you should be doing or using your best judgment as, and it's God, the 5-year-old, don't even get me started on him. He's like a second born energy. I he's I used to joke he's a spawn of Satan. He's just a maniac.
I
Like,
will
he's lovable, but he's so cute and so lovable, but it's dude, like,
the energy.
I
It's
yes, yes.
yes. I feel like, children sometimes are somehow taking our energy at that age, especially when they're younger. It's like they're just sucking the energy right out of us.
And unfortunately, they will not know or come to terms with it or even have an inkling of it for, like, at least another 20 years.
Just about the time they hit like 12, 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there, then they just go to their room and they disappear.
Yeah, that's why I wanna try to start now having, like, my own private time with them where there's maybe we just go get some pizza, just the
Yeah,
3 of us
absolutely. Just
without
anything like
and
that
then
that's just for funsies.
yeah. Just fun and just maybe just a time to do something with them and bond with just me, and then I tell my husband, like, "You're I encourage you to do
Yep.
that with just them," because it's so important to, like, at least try to attempt at that connection because, yeah, by the time, like you said, middle grade, oh my god, that's gonna really shape how they perceive that relationship, and that's why I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm terrified I'm terrified because middle schoolers are assholes.
I will say, normally when I meet somebody who teaches middle school, my first response is, "God bless you." Because I used to teach Spanish, which meant that I had a P through 12 certificate, at least in the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
Theoretically, I could teach anything from preschool through high school, which I will say I did teach preschool once and then I went high school, preschool, back to high school. And if I had only known you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit works on both 2-year olds and teenagers, my life would have been so much easier from the get-go.
Oh my
But
gosh. Unfortunately, maybe you had to go through that to get it. I don't know.
but so when I had to observe the middle schoolers, dude, I wasn't doing anything. I was just observing and I was exhausted. I was like, these children, the hormonal soup that's going on in this room. I want to run
Oh,
away. So I preferred my teenagers.
yeah. How old are they? You've got how many do you have?
I have 2 kids. I have a 20 how old is my oldest child? 22, 19. No, 23. 23? What is math? Dang it, Connor. I'm sorry.
We rest our case.
He's in law school. Okay, he's in law school. And then my youngest is a sophomore in Ringling. So they are
That's yeah,
out of the
I feel
house.
like that's almost like another stage, yeah, where you're like empty nesters, but then also they still need you, right?
Oh,
Like I
they're
feel like
always gonna
kids are
need you.
always gonna
Yeah,
yeah,
heck,
they're
I'll
always
call
gonna
my
need
own
you,
mom
but
sometimes.
oh,
Mom. The best was when they were
I
younger though,
know.
and sometimes I'd call mom and I would just say, "Mom, I would like to apologize for all the times that I misbehaved in the grocery store." And she's, "What has brought this about?" I was like, "I just took my children to the grocery store." That is what brought this about.
She could probably take a guess, right?
Oh,
You think,
yeah,
"Mom," like,
and I will
"Oh,
tell
that's so
you,
cute."
don't think that it's just because they're boys, because I had to call the poison control center twice. Was that for my boy? Nay, nay, my friend. Nay, nay, nay. Both times. Both times.
What was that, your second?
That's my second born.
That's your second child energy, that's what I'm
It
saying.
is
So,
wild. It is wild.
that's hilarious.
Those second kids, though, they're going to change the world in their own way too.
Exactly, they have just as an
It's just
impact
they're going to go about it
potential.
in different ways.
They're gonna be like, I don't know, if my 5-year-old, if he was a girl, I would've been like, "Yeah, fucking chaos, let's do this." But the fact that it's a boy, I'm like, "Okay," 'cause he's so cute, and I feel like he knows it, and it's just and then we ask him, like, you're gonna ask any child, "Why are you doing this?" They're gonna say, "I don't know," know, because they don't have that prefrontal cortex, whatever cortex reasoning development yet to be able to reflect and look at, why did I do this? Why am I not listening? Like they don't know why. It's just like impulsive and starts shit. And we're telling our oldest to be like, tell him to stop. Let-
It's
tell
it seemed like a good idea at the time. That's
right.
and
Like
it
I
could
know.
be the ADHD too because of the impulse control.
Yeah, no, exactly.
'Cause
That's why I work
I've watched
because
it.
my husband,
I was it
yeah.
as a child.
No, I know. I think it's great that kind of it seems collectively like the conversation is getting bigger and more accepted, or there's more people talking about it to where it's no, like we realize collectively as a human race,
Yeah,
there it's like a range, right? Like we're like, where do I
exactly.
fall on this
I
range? It's
figure
oh, I have a little bit of no, I'm over here.
at some
Like
point in my lifetime we're going to give up on the concept of neurotypical. I think. Because are you neurotypical or are you just masking really? That's my philosophy, but
it's exactly. Exactly, 'cause yeah, it's that's why I'm saying, like, there's human beings are so, like,
there's variation.
complex.
It's we're all
Yeah,
different.
and our brains I don't know, I think I, like, heard somewhere that we understand more about, like, outer space than we do about the human brain, and I'm like, "That's crazy to me. That's
Wow.
crazy to me." I don't know, it makes sense because there's, like, connections and I don't like, gray matter,
Mm.
I don't know, I haven't, like
Did one of my rabbit holes because and I may come back to this in a book at some day was it was this thing called locked in syndrome. Have you read about this or heard about this? It's where you can have, I think in the two cases that I was reading, it was a stroke, and they thought the person was a vegetable, but the person was very much conscious and in there, and she could only communicate by blinking her eyes. That's the only thing that she had control of at that time.
can't imagine.
Both of the ones that I read, they were both women, those 2. There's another memoir by a dude who had it and recovered, but I haven't read his yet. But both of these women went on to recover to a large degree, and one of them just happened to be like a neurosurgeon or someone who studied brains, and she was talking about the plasticity of the brain and how over time, parts of the brain could take over activities for parts that were injured. Like,
Yeah,
even that part of the brain is damaged, but another part of the brain picks up the slack.
that's, like, kind of comforting, but also scary. 'Cause
I
it's
found it
like
mainly comforting, and I was thinking of the scene in Kill Bill Volume 2 where she was staring at her or was it 2 or 1? Where she was staring at her toe, willing it to move, and I was like, "Okay." You
wiggle
know
your
how it is
toe.
when you get anxiety, you're like, "Okay, so if I have a stroke and I find myself locked in, first of all, blink at people, and if that doesn't work, stare at your toe until it moves, just like the bride." Okay, got it. Next catastrophe, what else can we research? Just
That's oh my gosh. I can't yeah, it's like when people ask me like, "Oh, what's your biggest fear?" I'm like, "Open ocean," even though I would never get in a situation. I'm not like an adventurer. Like but that's even anything can happen where you're like where I'm aware of everything around me and I cannot do anything about it. I cannot move, I cannot talk, I cannot
Oh,
communicate in any
no. I
way. I feel
brought your worst phobia to this podcast.
no,
Sorry,
it's okay.
Megan.
I because 'cause I think about it every once in a while, and it's just because I think I didn't even realize that until I think it was because of, the Anaconda movie, and
Well, see, snakes,
one of
that's
the
the
s
one that I don't. I don't want any
one of
part of
the
any snake.
scenes there you go. Okay, that that's my equalizer to
Yeah,
bringing up your shit.
there you go.
But I think it was,
Although,
like,
I
where
will
the
say,
he was
watching Anaconda, because at the time I was studying in Mexico, so watching Anaconda in a movie theater with my host mother with Spanish subtitles, and every now and then she'd grab my arm over here and she'd go, "Hey!" That's the way to watch that movie right there, especially because they're doing the subtitles and you're like, that's not what he actually said. You tone that down.
It's like, wait, the level of
Yeah,
seriousness, I don't
that
know if
he
that's,
said
like,
a much
translated,
dirtier word than what you just put there.
but she still clutched her pearls. Like
I didn't. It was my host mother loved scary movies, but then she was especially susceptible to jump scares. So she'd grab the
Mm.
arm of whoever was sitting beside her.
Those are people who are, like, really fun to watch
Oh
those
my
types of
gosh, it was
movies
great.
with, where they just react, they physically react, or if both of you are in it and you're, like, grabbing each
Yeah,
other and
exactly.
you're like I love that, that's so
But yeah,
fun.
snakes and me.
Um
I don't want any part of it. If I go to the zoo and I'm in the snake house, I have to find the snake in each like little habitat because I don't need that thing to be slinking around. I need to know where it is. I'm like, okay, there you are, and there you are.
I think for me, it's spiders. I understand that they're, like, helpful in the household, but I'm like, "Oh, you've been making yourself too
Yeah,
comfortable." This I'm
you don't need to be
that I haven't noticed
helpful
it until now,
near
I'm
me.
not yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I was like, "I can see you."
yeah. I need you to be over
And there
there.
I remember there was a point where I was like, I had to be brave for my kids because there was, like, a spider on their ceiling. I noticed it when I was putting them to bed, and my husband wasn't home, and I was like, "Does it really bother you that it's up there?" And they're both like, "Yeah, mom."
And that's
Like,
motherhood.
okay, I had to put my big girl pants on
Mhm.
and handle it. Otherwise, I would have been the damsel and been,
Yeah.
like,
You're
calling the
like,
man
dang it,
to
I'm the
yeah,
adult in this room. How did that happen?
exactly. So, I was like, I even like and it's on the ceiling, and I'm short, so I had to find a chair tall
I'm
enough, and then
feeling
I had to,
this.
like
Yeah.
yeah, and so I had to, like, maneuver everything so that I was not compromised and that I could still look like a badass mommy, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Oh,
it
yeah.
was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. I definitely had to, like Ugh, reconcile with parts of myself. So, maybe we won't pivot there right away. Okay, what were the mo what were the most challenging parts to write? What were the most enjoyable parts to write?
Okay, I know the most fun was the banter, and it was very exciting to you do some planning, but then characters become themselves. They don't I don't really know who they are till they start talking. And that's true for even characters like Havisham. Havisham is so salty. I had no idea how salty she was until she started talking. And with Malone and Stella, they're back and forth. I don't know. I think I was trying to channel the screwball comedies back in the day, the A Little Thin Man, A Little Bringing Up Baby, some of these things like this. When she said her safe word was anchovies, I cracked myself up. And that was the most fun, was the two of them talking at each other. An earlier draft of the book focused a little more on the female friendships and a little less on the romance. So I think the hardest part was rewriting to beef up the romance, even though that was absolutely, best I can tell, absolutely the right call because once they hit the page, it was magic. Bringing
Mm,
them more front and center while still keeping the depth of those female friendships. That
right.
was a challenge, as was you always write yourself into one corner or the other. And one of the problems was if she's a private investigator, there are certain rules and standards that she has to uphold. And I even referenced that at the end of the book. And I had to really toe that line between what she would do as a paralegal. She's studying to be a paralegal, as a paralegal and a private investigator, and the pettiness aspect of it. So that was fun.
How do you be petty and legal? Like,
Yes. Yes. And the answer to that
she's like, "Fuck." Yeah.
is ish. That's ish is the answer. Yeah.
I love that. I'm gonna use that from now on, and when I wanna be, like, vague or give an answer that's not an answer, I'm like, "Yeah, ish."
Ish.
That's perfect. I wanna ask this, okay, so between we're gonna think about Stella Malone, Sexy Malone, T
Mhm.
oh my god, Tai Tai. Can I call him Tai Tai, Tiberius?
If you would like
Um,
to.
something tells me he would deal with it, he would accept it.
He would.
He would, yeah, absolutely. So Stella Malone, Tai Tai, and then Havisham Salcido, and I think maybe it's just the oh, no, the old neighbor,
Mrs.
Mrs.
Quattlebaum or Mrs. Q.
Yes. Between the 5 of them, are you familiar with a Hot Wings challenge? Who would
Ooh,
win?
who would win the Hot Wings challenge?
Who would make it the furthest if it was, like,
Oh,
on a scale of however mild
Scovilles or
to
what
the
have you.
hottest? Yeah, exactly.
Malone would probably think he was going to win that, but it would be Havisham because Havisham would win
Spin
through
around the block.
sheer force of will.
Yeah,
Yeah, if she decided she wanted to win it, she would be the one that was going to win it. Yeah,
she would go through whatever she needed
yeah,
to
it'd
do,
probably be
yeah.
Havisham would win, and Malone would be right there, like right up to that point. Stella would drop out right before him.
Yeah.
Salcedo would be actually below them because in my mind she's more from Puebla than she is from northern Mexico, which if I'm remembering correctly, northern Mexico is more of the hot sauce territory. At least that was my experience because one of my fellow Spanish teachers brought in the hot sauce that had 3 X's on it, and I used to call it the pornographic sauce.
Uh,
It was pretty spicy. Yeah, yeah. And then Mrs. Q, of
and then,
course, is on the tail end
yeah,
because she's still learning. She's just been
she's got her
introduced.
casserole. She
Just introduced to the glories of spice. She's still in that, what, I need something beyond salt and pepper. Yeah, so.
I love that. I love that. No, but it's so true because Havisham is like no nonsense, and she's like, "I'm
Havisham
not
is
about
not
to."
playing. She is not playing.
Yeah, yeah, and then I could totally see, like, Malone maybe fighting for his life, but also, like, "I'll let Havisham have it, fine."
Yeah, that's true. That's also possible. That's another possible interpretation. It means so
Yeah.
much to her. I'm just gonna let her have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
The
Oh,
funniest thing about that is one of the books that I read before I was reading this is one called Generations. And so my original idea was that I was going to have a female character from each of the generations, a boomer, a Gen X, a millennial, and a zoomer. And when I went back and did the edit to beef up to make sure that the romance got everything that it deserved, one of my characters was cut. And I didn't even realize this. Like I went through developmental edits, copy edits, we're on page proofs, and I realized I'll be damned, you cut out Gen X, which is funny because I am Gen X and it tracks. It's just like the infographic where they left Gen X off that time. So
you just like your subconscious was like, "We're good." Like
I was like, that's fair. So I've got a boomer and
or maybe it
Havisham.
was kinda like other things that aren't yourself are more interesting,
Yeah.
and I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe, maybe. Going off of that pattern with those same 5 characters,
Hmm.
so picture them, they walk into their apartment, into their house, and there's a sink full of dishes.
Hmm.
How those characters handle a sink full of dishes, wash the dishes.
Each one. Let's see here. Obviously, we already know Malone does dishes. So he's going to come in, he's going to roll up his sleeves, and he's going to
Again, book boyfriend
yeah,
material.
he's gonna do his dishes. He doesn't leave that many in his sink. And if he walks in and sees that you've left dishes in your sink, he'll just start washing them and not get in your business about it or judge you over it.
Say anything, he'll just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this."
Yeah,
Like,
let me help you out here. That's who he is. Havisham, she runs a bar. She does dishes all day at work,
so
and
she came home, she'd be like, "What the
she's
fuck?"
who put these dishes in my sink? Because clearly I washed mine up as I ate. And I don't know who you are, but you need to get your butt in here and do these dishes. Stella is probably the most like me. She would be like the most likely to just leave the dishes. Just kind of,
Not ready for this
yeah,
right now.
I don't want to do this right now. I've got some background checks to do. I need to do some light surveillance. The dishes aren't going anywhere. Whatever. Let's see. Salcedo's my wild card. I think Mrs. Quattlebaum would also do the dishes. She's definitely clean up as I go, but she also likes casserole, so there's not that much cleanup as she goes.
Yeah, a couple big dishes every week.
Yeah, and she lives by herself, so she makes that one in the 13 by 9 by 2 and then eats off it all week. And by the time she hits Thursday or Friday, I hate this so much, but what am I can't let it go to waste. I'm too close to the depression era and we don't do that.
Yeah.
Salcedo's my wild card. I'm not sure. I think she's probably the one that it depends. She
And maybe because she's, like, still figuring it out
she's
age,
young,
like,
she's young, but also I'm pretty sure her mother wouldn't let her get away with not doing her dishes. So she probably does them more often than not. And then every
reluctantly.
now and then maybe leaves some dishes in the sink to feel a little rebellious and goes tee and walks off. So that's my guess.
If you had to really explore that part of her, you're
Yeah.
like, yeah.
That's
I don't know, I just think, like, some of these questions are, like, funny because they have nothing to do with the plot, but it's no, like, it helps you think about how you're developing your
yeah, I was
characters
just
and
thinking
how
I'm
their
gonna have to ask myself
yeah.
these questions before writing the book. Or
Yeah,
maybe
just like
midway.
your next work yeah, your next work and just be like,
Yeah.
What should I have decided about them?"
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause that might be like, cause seriously, it's okay, would this person be like, I'm over this shit," and just go to bed? Or would they be like, "No, this is not acceptable?" So I think that was a fun
It
exercise to
was,
bring
thank
up to
you.
you, yeah. 'Cause there are, like, there are so many interesting personalities that you bring up in Little Miss Petty, and I love I will just gush because, you know, I guess maybe the title had a certain expectation,
Mhm.
but then, like, within the first, like, few pages in the first chapter, I was like, "Oh my god, this is perfect."
Oh,
It was just
oh, thank
because it
you.
was I don't there's just something, like, just as, like, a gratification, I think you could resonate with so many readers of, no, this is where we're allowed to enjoy
Get a
the
little
pettiness.
yeah, get a little of that.
And that yeah, and then you're getting your comeuppance because like you said, the universe is not working fast enough, and this is not fair, and
Mm-mm.
this is and yeah, like how it's like I don't wanna be, like, too on my high horse or, like, political about it, but it's women in general are unfortunately the ones who deal with it because we do not get the consequences that we're looking for from other like, that
No.
people we think it's
And I think
it
the older I get, the more I see that. The more I see where who gets away with things, who doesn't get away with things. When you're younger, I don't think it's as easy to see.
No, I think when I was younger, I was focused on myself a lot, but I was also like, I don't know, dealing with mental health issues for like ever and like hormones and all that. I think, but yeah, it's like on the in the opinion of the justice or people getting their comeuppance. I guess yeah, maybe I learned from a young age that it just wasn't. I just had to accept it, and then I get maybe that's why it's refreshing to feed into these works art. That's but what if you didn't have to accept it? Like
Exactly.
what if there's a
Ooh,
way to
I caught a chill.
explore this yeah. What what if there's this way to fill your younger cup, feed your inner child of this perception that you have? Because again, we could get into it, but it's, oh, that mentality served appropriately in that time, but then, like, when you get older, you're like, "Oh, what the fuck?" You like, when you learn things, you see the world in a bigger picture, and then you realize, oh, what's your little pocket? What's your
Mhm.
perception
Yes.
versus someone else's perception? And then
So,
there's so many layers to it.
what was that?
And
One of my therapists was saying, because I like to collect at least one thing from each therapist, which makes me sound like I have lots of problems when really it's just I have to keep switching
I
insurance.
think I've had like in the past 20 years. It's okay.
It's fine. The more the merrier. But one of them said, "Is this your shit or their shit?"
And that's such a simple and beautiful
Yeah.
sentence.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, oh shit. Like
And that helps you get over it. But also, I love it when your shit chickens come home to roost. Uh-huh. Yeah.
it's yeah, it's like this is as much as you hate it, you realize this is the power that I have over myself,
Mhm.
even if it even if this power has no effect on them. They will have no idea that I'm over them. They will have no idea that I'm mature and I'm letting it
Exactly.
go. They will have no idea that I'm moving on, even though they fucking did this shit to me.
And
Like, it's
the corollary or what happened when I said karma doesn't work fast enough for me, what my husband said was, "You don't know." Because
yeah,
what looks like everything that this person wants, they could still be beyond miserable.
yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, that's, like, almost what I hang on to.
Exactly.
It's what keeps me going, where I'm, like, having these thoughts and I'm like, "God, like, really?" Especially in the today's climate and,
It's
like, we
disheartening.
don't even need to
No,
get
but it's
too deep
disheartening.
into it. Yeah, and it's just what are the consequences for these people? What are, like what's is the universe really that passive? Like, I
And I
it's
don't think so, but I think when we are where we are, it feels that way. I'm going to hold on to a sliver of optimism that at
ugh,
some
I'm right
point
there with
in
you.
some way justice will be served somehow.
Yeah.
Now, ask me again in 10 years. At that point, I may have totally given up and been like, nah, screw it. So
It's
it's hard
also
to
like,
say.
I'm like and then it's, like, almost a little bit of a contention point between me and my husband because 'cause I'm like, "Nobody fucking cares." I'm like, "Nobody cares. Why isn't anybody mad? We're not mad enough."
Mm.
It's like I'll get in certain moods, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like because it's like, again, it's my algorithm. Let's pay attention to what our algorithm is and what the internet is feeding us,
Oh,
what we
when I
you know what I
learned,
mean? Like,
yeah,
like self-fulfilling prophecy.
exactly. When I
What is it?
learned
Like, the
that
bias.
it's all
Yeah.
designed to enrage,
Exactly.
then I
And it's
started
designed to keep us
very,
apart. It's designed to keep us to notice the differences.
it,
And when it's
yeah.
like, I wanna be like, "Dude, in 10 years, they" okay, or even like end of any election cycle, it's still us.
Hmm.
Those people will be changing, but it's still us. It's still me and you. Why are we letting them do this to us? That's I think, like, I saw a video of someone saying, like, I try to hold on to that because that's so true. As much as I disrespect one person for feeling a certain way or for saying a certain thing or for being, like, just, like, unquestioningly following a certain side, I'm like, at the end of the day, like, in 5 years, it's still gonna be us versus them. It's still gonna be like they're still gonna be trying to pit us towards each other,
Yes.
and it's
And that's to
and that's
distract
like,
from other things that are going on.
oh, it, like, drives me nuts.
Truly.
We could again, another thing we could go on.
Ooh.
Let's
But
keep trying to
yeah, let's
re-navigate
just,
some
okay,
more,
we're
like,
back to
petty
petty.
oh, real quick, how in let me ask, I guess with Little Miss Petty, but also your other titles, how were your experiences with the cover design and all that?
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of them are, like, cute and aesthetic, and I know, like, it could go either way.
I got my rights back for my first 5 books, and then I had written Much Ado About Barbecue, the 6th in that Ellery series, and self-published it. And when I got the rights back to all 5, then I had them redone. So that cover, the new cartoony cover, that is by someone that my husband worked with when he worked at Cartoon Network,
Oh,
and she
yes.
is beyond talented. She did all of those.
All these look so good, and it's
The
like
Nobody's
it's so
Perfect.
simple, but it's so good.
Nobody's Perfect and Little Miss Petty are with my new publisher, Lake. They did a
What, like, the cross-stitching detail? Are you
that
kidding me? Get outta here.
I don't even know how she did that, the cover artist for Nobody's Perfect. It was my suggestion and I just threw it out there and they ran with it.
She was like, "Okay."
And she did a fantastic job. And I loved the cupcake with the sprinkles for Little Miss Petty.
It's supposed to be because like, it's her birthday. Because I would feel like Little Miss Petty, I would feel like you could
Originally, we were talking about putting salt on the cupcakes.
yes,
Yeah,
that's
because she's
hilarious.
salty, but it just wasn't necessarily translating visually speaking. So we just did extra sprinkles, like so many sprinkles, like more sprinkles than you would ever want in your life if you look at it very carefully. And then I just went back and wrote a scene about when Stella was a teenager and she worked at a cupcake shop and this little mean girl starts getting on her case about this, that, and the other. And she's, this needs more sprinkles. And Stella's like, more sprinkles. And so then she turns and talks to her friends, and of course she's talking shit about Stella. And Stella's told her, "Tell me when," and she's just letting the sprinkles rain down. And then of course she looks over, "You have ruined my cupcake." It's like a teenage Stella, but you didn't say when. So it was
It's yeah, I love it. I love it because that's just another little thing that just adds on the building of her personality.
yes. So that, but
Because
the
I
in
I
that
love
case, the cover inspired that scene, and
it's a great cover. It's a great cover because it's like Little Miss Petty, and then it's like cupcake
yeah,
sprinkles,
yeah.
sprinkles. No, I seriously, I like I said, I had an expectation and it delivered.
Oh, good.
I love it just had the mood. There was a mood about it, and then it was such a good feel good
I
slash it's feel good slash petty, like that like guilty pleasure
that's
slash
what we're going
you know
for.
a little bit of sexiness, like romance going on, where I love where Malone was like, "Oh, this is really happening." He was unapologetic. Oh, okay. He was like straight up, "I will give you my mom's maiden name and my social security card if
Oh,
you can." Like he was
that
just
was some of the
I
most
love
fun
that.
I had. It was just like, yeah, her interrogating him. And he's woman, I think one of the women who's helping with my social media, she pulled the quote where he said, "Woman, I will give you my date of birth, social security number if you will get naked now."
Yeah, I love that. I love that because that was like that gives us insight into who he is, and then also because she wants him too, obviously, like, she
Obviously.
wants him, and she's the one who's been holding back, and then she's, "Well, what can I get out of this in a friendly way?" Like, she wasn't, like, trying to manipulate him, because she was honest with him from the
No, it was a
get-go,
game between
and
the
he
two of
was
them,
like
clearly.
yeah.
They're just
Exact exactly, and that's, like, how I appreciated how healthy that was. She was like, "No, okay, see, you won't what if I sit on your lap? Like,
and
tell
then
me
and
when."
at one point she says, "Now I'm gonna be very serious. For a moment, let's be serious. I'll stop if you want me to
Yeah,
stop." And he
and
says
he
no.
was like,
Which, have you seen the new Wuthering Heights? Tangent. Okay. I
I've heard opinions that were disappointed, though."
Oh, that depends. Did you like the original book?
So, I read it as an English major,
Mhm.
so I think I read it with the purpose of reading it for a
Mhm.
and less than so I know it was iconic, and I know it was, like, dark, and I know it was, like, controversial. Maybe not controversial, but it was, like, it made me think. It made me it challenged what does this which also is reflected in a lot of today's novels. It's like, okay, what is someone's upbringing? How do they act?
Yeah, there's a lot of
What
nature and
happens?
nurture
Like,
and
how does that what
class and
happens
whatnot.
with that? How does someone but honestly,
No, we can be totally honest.
it was slow.
I'm an
It was
English major
slow and
too.
boring at
It was
times, you know
slow,
what
it
I
was
mean? But it was a
boring,
different readership.
and
It was a different readership
and
then,
for my
yeah.
money, I didn't like Heathcliff or Kathy. So, I'm telling you, as the person who did not like the book, I did like the movie, but they are
Okay,
two
I'll have to watch it now.
extremely very different things, and you have to be prepared for
Yes.
Emerald Fennell to make it weird. But then
Like,
after I
his interpretation of the scenery and all that.
yeah, yeah, and I saw a lot of complaints about how it
Oh,
wasn't
no, maybe
period
what I'm thinking
appropriate
about
and
is,
blah blah
like,
blah, but that's not the point.
Jane Eyre. Maybe I'm thinking of Jane Eyre because I feel like Jane Eyre made such a more impact on
Jane
me.
Eyre, yeah, Jane Eyre was the one that made more of an
Yeah.
impact on me. That's the one
Yeah, maybe
with
that's about Jane Eyre, yeah,
yeah, no, Wuthering Heights is very tragic and dark and yeah. But the movie, I gotta say, there's one part where Jacob Elordi as Heathcliff is talking to Isabella, and I'm going to ruin you. Do you want me to stop? He's taken off one sleeve or whatever, and she's like, I'm only marrying you because I can't marry Kathy. Do you want me to stop? So it was fascinating to see the way that consent played a role
Yeah,
in that story. Like, even because Heathcliff, the literary character, there's going to be a bunch of people who did like the movie who are going to go back to the source material and be disappointed.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway,
'Cause it's
that was my
I
tangent
okay,
is
so
about how
you're good.
consent has found its way into all of the things we do.
With your sexy tie-tie.
Yeah,
The
he's
sexy tie-tie.
yes.
You wrote okay, now because that makes me trust you if I ever wanna pick up another book by you again,
Aw,
just so
thank
you know.
you.
It really does because I feel you know what, like, I get
I
propositions all the time, and I'm like, "Oh, am I interested in this?" And it's say look at it if I can fit it into my review or
sure.
interview schedule versus if I am really interested in it. And this is like have a good faith, but honestly, the title sold it. 'Cause
Oh,
just
good.
because
But
they
yeah,
that it's just like everybody has like a little giggle when they read that, I feel
I
like.
could not write an alpha if I tried.
I like the bully, I don't like the
I
alpha
could
or
write
alpha
an
hole.
alpha in
I
the
can't
sense
stand
of
that.
the
I can't stand
alpha
it.
who takes care of his people, but not like
You
the
could,
alpha hole
you
interpretation.
could so explore more on the adult side of romance, but if honestly, if that's not if you're more interested in women's fiction part of it, that's you do that very well, but I'm saying you're bordering on where I'm comfortable sharing this suggesting this title to my mom, because it does get racy, but it's not like,
And I'm to the
you
point now
know
where I write what I want to write, what I feel comfortable writing. And I would not necessarily be comfortable writing with the door completely closed, although sometimes I do. My philosophy is what does the story call for? What do
yeah,
these characters call
yeah.
for? But at the same time, I'm not gonna I can't write erotica. It's not my
Have you read
wheelhouse.
it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I've read erotica.
Yeah.
I've read
Yeah,
everything.
it's enjoyable. It's like also it's fine for people who wanna just read that, but also I still like some plot, so if I find, oh, it's just sex for sex, I'm like, it's a turn on
There are
for
a
me,
lot
but
of
like the
people who do
same.
it very well, and I enjoy the way they do
Yeah,
it, but I want there to be some real character development to go along with it.
yeah, like a reason, versus, "Oh, got to this
I don't
point,
want
and
it
then
to
we
be
had
like
sex, and then we
70s
got to this point, and we
porn where
had
the
sex."
pizza boy
Yeah.
shows up and then bound chicka bound bound. That's not I'm not here for
Yeah.
that.
"Hey, you don't have enough to pay." Okay, here we
Exactly.
go.
When are you gonna get up? Because we have
I know,
movie
you
night.
got movie night.
Oh,
I will be done in 15 minutes, I promise.
Do you promise?
Set a timer. Set a timer on your tablet, and I'll be up.
What's a tablet?
Alright. Love you.
I'm honestly surprised that I haven't had a cat in here. It used to be the
I was
kids.
gonna say they when they're reaching over the lens, like,
I'm shocked because I've got one that anytime she hears me talking to somebody, she has to come in and say hello. But
that's
if it's not the
hilarious.
cats, it's the kids. I can't remember now what I was doing a podcast and my youngest, who is I think at the time 18, is, "Mom, do you know where the such and such is?" Just
And you're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" What? No, luckily they know, and they're like they look at me and my setup, and they're like and then other authors have been like, "Oh my god, so sweet,
it
hi." And
is.
I'm like,
Been
"Yeah," and it's
there,
fine, and,
done
like
that.
and he's just asking, like, the least serious question.
Needs to know that you still care.
Yeah, it's fine. No, I think he came down one time and was like, "Did you text grandma and grandpa to come pick me up so that they don't forget?" I'm like, "They know they're not gonna forget to come pick you up. What do you do?" You know, like, or unless are you just making an excuse to come talk to me? You
Yes,
know what?
he wants to see
Right,
what's going
exactly.
on and respect.
I know. It's I wanna, like, appreciate it for what it is, even though I'm like,
That's always my
uh,
philosophy,
like
is that at every age of child rearing has things that you love and things that drive you nuts.
yeah,
Every one
absolutely.
of them.
And that goes for them too, because there's
Yeah.
been times where he's been like, "Mom, you're stressing me out." And I'm like, "The audacity."
What were you thinking?
I'm like, I
What were
can't
you thinking?
I can't even respond to it. I'm like, "Are you serious? Boy, you stress me out when you're not here." Okay, so we'll wrap up with a few more questions. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, what do you hope your readers get out of Little Miss Petty?
I hope, let's see, a few things. In almost every book, particularly a romance, I want my readers to know that their happiness has worth and that they deserve him alone, someone who's going to treat them the way they ought to be treated. This book had a surprise to it with the scene where she's turning 40, the 40th birthday party. And I actually tried to cut that and it just wouldn't let me cut it. And
I think that's important for you to have a
I
main character, like, in that milestone because I'm gonna be 40, and so, like, that for me, that maybe that was why I can, like, relate and
I
connect with
decided I
her.
really wanted to leave that in there because we put such a high value on youth. So, like any reader who's not yet 40, I want them to know you're just getting started. You're not done. This is not a
40 is not like it's exciting.
it is.
It could be exciting in
We
your 30s and you're more sure
You're
of yourself
losing a
and you're
lot
like,
of
"No, I
those
got my shit." Yeah.
expectations. You're coming a lot closer to who you are and being authentic. You've got enough life experience that you can do all the things that I mentioned. And
It's like a certain level of
I think
confidence,
it's
and then you're
scary,
approaching this milestone. Yeah.
especially for women who end up getting divorced in their late 30s to their mid 40s and have to reinvent the wheel. But yet that has all those examples of Toni Morrison not writing a book until she's 40,
Yeah,
Madeline L'Engle,
you could look at
Vera
all these
Wang.
people, yeah,
So all of these things, and even
for
Agatha
they're not,
Christie.
yeah, they don't make a name for themselves until after,
Mhm.
like, it's so once you look at it in the big picture and perspective, it's like, "Oh, okay, I
So I
get it
really
now."
think I hope that's something that especially the younger readers, and I think most of my
Yeah.
readers do skew mid-30s and up. But if you are a young reader and you pick this up, I want you to know in the back of your mind, you're not done. At this point, I'm going into my 50s. I'm not
I'm gonna
done.
be 40 next year, and I'm still like, "No, let's go."
It's fine.
I
It's
It's it really, and I've that's what I've heard about from people who are, like, around my age and older, they're like, "No, you having less fucks to give." It's just, like, where you read that age, you reach that wisdom and that
exactly.
experience, and you're just like, "This isn't even worth my time anymore."
No.
I'm not there's so many more things that are worth, like,
Mhm.
my emotion and
And
my
my energy
reaction.
and my
Yes,
attention and that's all you need is your tiny Vera Bradley purse. Those are all the fucks you're gonna need to go through life is
and
about
while
like
we're
that
at that
much.
age, that's where we can really grasp and recognize that.
Yes, finally.
I love that.
So I think that was
Exactly.
I don't know. I started what like I said, I started with generations and when I realized that Stella was gonna be a millennial and I'm a baby Xer, so I share some millennial tendencies. That was one of the things I wanted to address because I'm like,
Yeah.
"Welcome, welcome to the club. We're all on our road to being
You're
crones
kinda
and
saying
swamp
like,
and
"Hey,
bog
it's
witches
okay on
and
the other side of the bridge." Yeah.
yeah, we're the keepers of the wisdom, keepers of the lore. We're
Like, you are right up our no worries. Okay, so Sally Kilpatrick, what are you working on that you're allowed to talk about?
ooh, that I'm allowed to talk about. I will say this, I have a mystery that we are shopping. I can talk about that, and it is hopefully gonna be a series called The Nancy and Drew Mysteries. So it's Great Aunt Nancy and her niece
Oh my god, that's so
Drusilla,
cute.
and they solve crimes. So the Nancy Drew mysteries. So that's what I'm working on right now that I can talk about. And then of course there's always projects going on that
I don't wanna get you Okay, so where can we find you online and on social media?
you can find me at sallykilpatrick.com. I think I'm most on Instagram these days. Yeah, and it's Super Writer Mom instead of Sally Kilpatrick, which is a very long story. And the super was definitely meant to be ironic. And yet here we are. But yeah, Super Writer Mom on Instagram, Threads, even my Facebook author page is Super Writer Mom. But probably
Like,
Instagram
where you're most
and
active. Yeah,
website.
that's fine. Yeah, perfect. No, I know it's a lot to keep track of. I get it. It's like wherever you are most comfortable with telling people where you are.
Yes, I may have some more, but I'm just like, listen, look,
Website and they'll
I
find
cannot
you.
be on all of these platforms. I at some point I have
It's
to write a
no.
book, unless you want me to write a book with my random musings on threads, which I don't think you
Or
do.
you'll make Stella be like, "What are all these platforms?" Like, And then Malone will be like, "Okay, I will take these 3, and then you could take these." Like,
Exactly,
he's such a
exactly. He'll
fucking,
be like,
like,
if
oh,
yeah. Yeah, I'm
love him
very
so
much
much.
coming into my get off my lawn era, so I'm just
It
feeling
should
it.
be. You have every right to be, and I'm so looking forward to my own get off my
Oh,
lawn.
yeah, absolutely. That's living the dream right there. And I have a rule that once you hit 80, you can do whatever you want. So if I can make
It's
it to
seriously
80,
a fuck. It hit 60, do whatever the fuck you want. My mom's 74, and I'm like, "Mom, you were, like, in your free ball era.
go
You
do the thing.
like"
Yeah,
yeah,
my mom and I, we drove across
exactly.
country with cats. That's what we did because we moved from Atlanta to California. And so I dosed the cats, drove up from Atlanta to Memphis, picked up my mom, and we drove across the country.
That sounds so amazing.
It
Oh my
was
god.
great.
You need to, like, just help people plan that exact same trip. I feel like so many
Mhm.
people would be like, "My mom and cats. Yes.
It was
Let's do this."
great. It was great.
I love that. That's amazing. Okay, so Sally Kilpatrick, Little Miss Petty comes out on March 24th. I will recommend this book to people who like women's fiction, romance with maybe, I don't know, like one spicy pepper. Like what are like
One
it's
and a
like there's
half.
some spicy moments, and there's a lot of tension that's clearly
That
like, okay, these
we're
people
not getting into anything
it's really
too.
not, yeah, it's not like open door a lot. It's just very
No.
much, and even when the open door, it's very, like, brief. It scratches the itch. But I would still recommend it for the Little Miss Petty, for the humor, the banter, and for the, like, the Schadenfreude, for
Sorry.
the little self-gratification of just letting the
Just seeing
maybe reluctantly doing things and letting the universe takes its toll, but also it's okay if you want to make someone's life you wanna make karma be karma. I
I say take notes. If an
you
opportunity
should have your Google search as maybe in a
if
newsletter or
an
anything, like,
opportunity arises for you to
"Hey,
allow
we're just
some
saying this is your
logical
permission."
consequences to happen, then
Some people do, they do.
thank you
Um,
very much for having
uh,
me. I've appreciated it. Enjoyed chatting with
absolutely.
you.
And no, seriously, like, if and when you're ready for your next project, feel free to keep in touch. I'd love to have you on again.
Absolutely. I would love to come on again. So thank you very much.
And there you go. That was Sally Kilpatrick talking about her book, Little Miss Petty. That book is available on March 24th. Check out the show notes where you can see links where to find Sally online and on social media and where to purchase the book. In the show notes, you'll also see where to find Cantina Book Club on your favorite social media book communities, Bookstagram, Book Talk, BookTube, Facebook, Threads, all that. And I would love and appreciate it if you could hit that follow or subscribe button so that you never miss out on a book review and you can catch author interviews. If you have any book loving friends and fellow listeners who want to get more out of their reading lists, please share Cantina Book Club with them so that they can find upcoming releases and author interviews in their inbox. If you Another way to help the podcast is to head on over to your favorite podcast player and give Cantina Book Club a rating or review. It helps me to reach more listeners and book lovers like you. And that goes for any podcast that you listen to. It's one of the easiest ways to help out. If you need book recommendations, please reach out to me. I'm always looking forward to suggesting books no matter what genre you're looking at. You can also head on over to cantinabookclub.com to read more in-depth book reviews of all types of genres. While you're at it, you could subscribe by entering your email on the website so that you can get everything delivered to your inbox. If you want to support Cantina Book Club monetarily, donate by finding a form on cantinabookclub.com. Whether it's a one-time donation or as little as $1 a month, I totally appreciate anything that you can do. Or just share Cantina Book Club on your favorite social media. And finally, one of the best ways to help authors promote their works is to head over to Amazon, Goodreads, Storygraph, or wherever you leave your reviews. Give your favorite author a reading or review. It really does help them reach more readers and get their works out there more than simply tagging on social media. But thanks so much for listening and see you next time. Cheers.